All right. So today is the 8th of September. Hope y'all had a good weekend. Um, we are still continuing on with identifying and describing the structure of cells. Today we are looking at prokaryotes versus eukaryotes. Um, we have been talking about eukaryotes. We've been talking about the animal cell and we've been talking about the plant cell. Okay. We're about to add in prokaryotes to that. Basically, all cells fall under these two categories. All cells either fall under the prokaryote or they fall under the eukaryote. Now, these two types of cells do have some things in common. For one, they both are surrounded by a cell membrane, or remember, sometimes that's called the plasma membrane. Those two terms, cell membrane, plasma membrane, same thing. Also, both cells have some form of DNA, or actually they have DNA. If you notice these little stringy things in here, that is the DNA in the prokaryote. You can't actually see it here, but it is inside the nucleus. Keep in mind that all DNA, and remember, we might call DNA genes, chromosomes, hereditary material. They can be referred to as all of that. So all of that DNA, all of that hereditary material for eukaryotes is found in the nucleus. Whereas with the prokaryotes, it's just floating around out there. So, cell membrane and DNA, all cells have that. What it's going to come down to is prokaryotes do not have a nucleus. So we say no nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotes do have a nucleus. They do have membrane-bound organelles. And we've been going through all those organelles. Just like the nucleus has a membrane around it called the nuclear membrane. But anyway, I will say that, I don't know how many times this year, no nucleus, you do have a nucleus. All right, so on your slide for prokaryotes and eukaryotes, it's going to give me what they have in common and what's different. Then you will do a slide about just prokaryotes. I have given you specific instructions. I'm having you put no, and you do on the first slide, and I want you to put no for prokaryotes. For prokaryotic cells, that's going to be in your slide that you're making. Okay, so all prokaryotes are bacteria. All bacteria are prokaryotes. In fact, there's so many different types of bacteria that they have actually, in the kingdoms, in the 6 kingdoms, have divided bacteria, prokaryotes, into 2 separate kingdoms. And so there's a lot of them, but they all have something in common. They are no nucleus. All prokaryotes. Okay. Prokaryotic cells have genetic material, not inside the nucleus, and there is no membrane that separates it from the cell. Okay, size. Now, prokaryotes are very small, okay? The only thing smaller is going to be your virus, and we'll talk about that later. But prokaryotes, your bacteria, are small compared to your eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are bigger. They also have ribosomes because, of course, DNA that's in them are directions for making proteins. So you're going to have some ribosomes in your bacteria or your prokaryotes. And that pretty much covers it. Follow the directions that I've given you for making that slide. The next one is eukaryotic cells. Okay, they're much bigger and they're more complex. Complex means they're more complicated because they have all those different organelles in them. Remember, we've spent a lot of time going over the function of those organelles. So this whole time we've been talking about eukaryotes. Okay, they have a true nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. Everything except bacteria is a eukaryote. All your plants, animals, protists, and your fungus, your fungi, they all are made of eukaryotic cells. They all have a nucleus. They all have membrane-bound organelles. Remember, some of your protists, though, will have chloroplast, and your plants will have chloroplast. Your animals will not. Your fungi will not. All right, that pretty much covers it. Pretty short for today, but you will be asked questions. You'll have to be able to identify the difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, and it's going to come down to, does it have a nucleus? If it does, it's a eukaryote. If it's not, it's a prokaryote. And that pretty much brings it to a close for today. Tomorrow we will be getting into more depth over the cell membrane. Keep in mind that making these slides is taking the place of you sitting here taking notes, like I've always done in the past. I've done notes. You've built journals, you've built notebooks, and there was a lot of other things involved. Computer, having to do everything through the computer. Remember, these slides take the place of the notes. This is me delivering the material you need to know to you. There will be some different videos coming up. We'll do videos over the cell membrane. But anyway, y'all get going on this. If you have questions, you can email me, text me. If there's anybody that is having trouble with the lessons, with the slides, with how to turn in lessons through Google Classroom, you can make an appointment to come sit with me in the afternoon for just a little bit, and I can show you some things. So anyway, y'all have a good day. Goodbye, good luck.